All right, everyone. So real quick before this episode of the podcast starts, I wanted to let you all know that, yes, I was incredibly tired while filming this. So if I don't make direct eye contact with the camera, then don't hold it against me. Cut me some slack, okay? And I also tried my hand at color grading this footage, which I don't usually do, but I figured why not try it. So make sure to let me know how this looks. I'm going to try some different color grading stuff and see what I can do with this one. So hopefully you guys like how it looks as well. So with that being said, let's get on with the episode. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Anything and Everything podcast, episode 34. So I originally had a different little fancy preset I had on my camera that I was going to use, but I didn't like the way it really made this look. I didn't think it worked for a podcast type of thing. I don't know. I might try some stuff in post, as in terms of color grading, because I'll let you guys know a little secret. I never color grade any of my stuff. I don't color grade any of my things, which I've thought about doing because it makes everything look more cinematic and movie-like, and I like that look. But I decided to just stick with the original settings because it looks better. Two, you'll notice, yes, I'm wearing a shirt with sharks on it. Even though you guys probably can't see the sharks because the camera quality on this, because the quality of my T3 DSLR is not very good, so you probably can't see the sharks, but I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it. I wanted to start wearing more crazy looking stuff. Well, more out there kind of stuff. Stuff that, yeah, you get what I mean. You'll notice I'm not in my usual recording spot, and that's because I had to go to my alternate recording spot because of let's just say it was a mishap involving water. So, yes. But we're going to move past that. That's a story for another time. But for this week's episode, which might be coming out a little later due to said incident with water causing setbacks. So I don't know when I'll get done with this episode, but whatever. So for this week's episode, so I wanted to start off with, I figured I'd start off with something that I noticed the other day. And by the other day, I mean Monday? So I'm 23, or I am 23 now because my birthday was Tuesday, so I'm now 23. So I'm slightly older than the average college age student. I noticed literally everyone who's standing in the hall as I was walking down it were on their phones. And here's my thing. And I just thought to myself, are people really so addicted to their phones? Are people really so addicted to their phones that they literally can't be off of them for an hour and 15 minutes, which is roughly how long each of my classes lasts? It's like people nowadays can't be off their cell phones for any amount of time, apparently. Not even an hour and 15 minutes. And I should rather say people my age can't be off their cell phones. It's like, seriously, maybe we've had cell phones for so long that we're just addicted to them now. I don't know. And I know there are people who are going to think, oh, why is he acting like a cranky old person? Really, it's because it's just sad. It's just sad that these people can't get off of their phones long enough to do anything productive and or anything in general. They would rather be on their phones where they, I guess, don't have to talk to people face to face. If you're on your phone for the entire time you're in a class or college class or high school class, whatever, you're literally wasting everyone's time you're wasting your own money and your own time, but people don't seem to care about that anymore. So that's all. If you're one of those people, that's your loss. So yes, that's just something I noticed. All right, everyone. So for our second topic, I wanted to briefly talk about these YouTube hate /feud /beef / whatever you want to call them type videos. Specifically, how I just don't get them. I just don't understand them. I've seen a few of them. Most notably between two YouTubers. And what makes me slightly skeptical of this is due to the fact of what these two YouTube channels do as part of their content. Between these two YouTubers, FouseyTube, and Vitaly Vizalti. So they're both prank channels. They both do prank videos, which I talked about in I believe it was my last episode. Maybe the one before that. I can't remember. So apparently these two are going back and forth, blah, 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 but more so FouseyTube. And it's what you'd expect from a feud video. FouseyTube is going back and forth with whatever the fuck his name is, and basically accusing each other of doing some horrible, horrible shit. Which I can't remember, I can't list all of because I don't remember all of because I lost interest. Apparently it was a bunch of stuff having to do with Brazilian prostitutes or something. The whole reason I think people do them is for one, obviously, publicity and or views, because these types of videos are all the rage, which of course should be obvious considering YouTube. But two, I think the main reason they do it is because keep in mind that both of these guys, I'm assuming, are in their mid to late 20s. And they're basically acting like fucking high schoolers or whatever. They're basically acting like high schoolers spreading rumors about each other. That's literally what it looks like. Which is one reason I've never understood it. What's the point of this? What is this supposed to do? Why is FouseyTube just now coming out with this shit? If this supposedly happened when they took a trip to Brazil several years ago, why are you just now coming out with all this shit? If it bothered you that much, why didn't you do it earlier? But I'm not going to say it's completely fake, because in FouseyTube's video, he does actually show a photo, what actually does look like Vitaly in a room with a bunch of Brazilian sex workers and or prostitutes, whatever you want to call them. But I'm not going to show the picture. My video will get fucking flagged if they still do that. So I'm not going to show it. You can go watch FouseyTube's video if you want to see it. So that does make me think it's not completely fake, because that photo does look real, which is weird because that means he had someone else in that room with him while he was having a fucking orgy specifically to take that picture, which is slightly weird. That was slightly weird. Why would you want anyone else other than you and the men and or women you are having sex with to be in the room with you? Why would you want another person just watching you bang somebody? Unless that's your fetish, of course, which then I'm not ripping somebody for that. Okay, whatever. I don't want to get into a kink shaming, whatever. I'm just an impartial person here. I'm just an impartial man, okay? Yes, I'm going to go watch a video of two grown men accusing each other of shit they may or may not have done. That's entertaining to me. That's quality content. And also ignore the fact that with this polo shirt on, I look like a dad going on a beach vacation. So for our final topic here, I thought we would talk about, or I wanted to talk about rather, just some filmmaking related topics. So that might not be everybody's most favorite topic, but I'm picking shit I want to talk about, so get over it. So yes. I just really like that kind of handheld style kind of thing. I think especially in horror films, it works. It works rather well. Rather well. Sort of like what they did with The Strangers. I like the way they did that movie. With the handheld look and all of that, because it made it look, especially with The Strangers, it made it look more realistic, therefore made it more terrifying. As if The Strangers wasn't already terrifying enough. So there was a movie I saw a few weeks ago that's about two or so years old, done by the same director who directed the original Strangers, Brian Bertino. It was a movie called The Monster. I think it's from 2016, and I thought it wasn't that bad, actually. Considering, I'm assuming it was pretty low budget because it was a horror because of a horror film. The title Monster looked quite good, I must say. I like that they didn't use CGI for the monster, though. I'm assuming it was some sort of like animatronic or some kind of like high quality suit or something. There might have been parts where it was CGI, but for the most part, they kept it very practical, which I like. I think that adds to the realism of a film like that. But The Monster is it's a type of horror film where it's set in mostly one place, just like The Strangers was. So it's set mostly in I'll try to do this without giving away the plot. It follows this mother and daughter who literally get stalked and attacked by a monster from the woods. And that's where most of the movie takes place. So yes, it's rather good. It's a bit slow because the movie's like 85, 90 minutes. So it's a bit slow. But if you're willing to overlook that, give the movie a go. And the reason I said that movie is the effects. Because let me tell you, I've seen a lot of really bad special effects. And the movie The Monster actually did it pretty well for a low-budget film. Unlike The Asylum, who I will forever ridicule because of their shitty CGI. I don't care how low their budget is. So green screen stuff can also be good or bad. Although I would know, I've not yet used a green screen. I've actually thought about buying a green screen. Although the only problem is I don't know if I'd have enough space in my apartment to put a green screen. I don't think my apartment's big enough to where I would have enough space to put a green screen. I could maybe put a green screen behind me here, like one of those travel size green screens. Maybe, if I had good enough lighting. That way the background just won't be wherever I happen to be at the moment. But we'll see. So I also like the high shutter speed kind of thing. That kind of cinematography, like they used in Saving Private Ryan. But a little tip for that, and a little tip for any of those of you who are thinking of buying a camera. First of all, look up the specific type of camera you're wanting to buy so you know how to work it, so you're not confused out of your mind. I only knew how to work this camera when I first got it because I looked up how to work this camera. So my advice is look up some tutorials on how to work whatever specific camera you have. Make your job a whole lot easier. But for those of you who know what you're doing and know what shutter speed is, a little tip: the higher you set your shutter speed, the more you'll have to expose the camera, the higher you have to set your ISO, and or the more lighting you'll have to get a shot that's as well lit as this one, I'll say. And I think I've tried to use a higher shutter speed on one video that I did, and it didn't work out very well. Matter of fact, it was so dark, it looked like I was recording a video in a cave. So I just keep my ISO at the standard that the camera runs on, which is like 33 or something like that, which is not meant for the specific frame rate that I'm recording at. I'm actually supposed to be doing this at 50, at a shutter speed of 50, but my shutter speed is at 33 because I can't really change. The camera that I have is not a very sophisticated camera, therefore I can't. There's a lot of stuff I can't change because it's not a good enough camera. But so I'll leave this episode at this, so I don't turn your brains into mush. Don't worry, I'm not gonna use the "this is your brain on drugs" joke again. I've already used that joke like 2 or 3 times. I'm not gonna do it.
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Okay, I did it again. I can't help myself. It works too fucking well. Yes, so if you guys on SoundCloud like this video, my cat just knocked over his water bowl again. Why are you knocking? Will you stop knocking over your water bowl? Stop that. My cat has entered his rebellious teenager phase. Oh no. So if you guys like this episode, you guys on SoundCloud can like the track, comment on the track, whatever you want to do. And if you guys on YouTube like the video, you guys can thumbs up the video, thumbs down the video, comment on the video, whatever you want to do. And I'll see you guys in next week's episode.